Hello everybody. Today's video is supposed to be another ASMR really, a long ride out up to Lancaster Castle, a few looks around the castle and then a ride back. Unfortunately the GoPro was on a chest mount, and after going over a what I thought was a smallish bump early in the ride, it decided to point itself at the tank. Now, alright, a T120 tank is very pretty, but 2 hours of it, boring. So, onto the backup camera, which is the Ghost XL, which was mounted low down on one of the engine dresser bars. And, again, not the best angle, but it does give a unique perspective. However, abandon the ASMR for this video at least, and let's just have a few musings on, I don't know, the state of the nation maybe. I mean, Granny Homer Starmer declared Nigel Farage an enemy of the country, and I suppose by extension that means anybody who supports Farage is an enemy of the country. And again, as the majority of the British people at the moment support Farage and reform, that would make all of them enemies of the country. Well, Prime Minister, I have a little bit of an eye-opener for you. The people are the country, and they're not enemies of themselves. In fact, by declaring most of the British people your enemy, have you not instead self-declared yourself an enemy of the people? And this is something I find difficult to argue with, as the words came out of your own mouth. Secondly, he is now trying to force digital ID on all of us British people. He says it's to help stop illegal migrants, that it will stop them working illegally. Well, here we go again. Another smoke screen. That's all it is. I mean, the people who hire illegal migrants and know they are hiring illegals don't care if they have an ID or not. They will still hire them, so it will do nothing to stop the grey economy. Next, if that is all the cards are for, then does that mean that pensioners who are not going to be applying for work in the future, should they not need these cards? But no, apparently they're going to be mandatory for everyone. But why? If pensioners are not going to be looking for work, why do they need a card? Well, a number of Labour figures have kind of let the cat out of the bag there. One of them saying that the ID cards will be the bedrock of our future society. And that just brings thoughts of police wandering the streets, stopping people and asking to see their papers, aka Nazi Germany during the war. Well, let's look at some other countries that have ID cards and papers. China, Russia. But you know, I think Starmer's views are more in line with those countries than they are with the British people. And he has been proving that time and time and time again. But that, at least his views on that were a little distraction from him going back to finding Farage living in a little rent-free apartment inside his noggin. Only at the Labour Party conference yesterday, he then declared Nigel Farage's policies racist and immoral. What is more racist and immoral than removing a pensioner's winter fuel allowance so they can't afford to keep their homes warm over the Christmas period? Yes, he was forced to U-turn on that one by his own backbenchers, forced to reinstate the fuel allowance. although it's coming out at the moment that the amount they're going to be getting is vastly cut down. Now, I don't know the truth of that, I'm no expert. But if it is true, it is yet again just another cynical attack on the pensioners.
In a quarter of a mile, slide right onto Cable Street.
But back to him saying Reform's policy of ending indefinite right to remain racist and immoral. Now, let's get something out of the way here. Immigration, legal immigration, is a good thing for this country. Without immigrants coming here legally and working here, decent, honest people, institutions like our NHS would literally collapse. So that's a good thing. What is a bad thing is people coming over here illegally on small boats or by other routes. People we don't know, people we have no history of. They come over here, they either work in the grey economy, which means they are not paying taxes, or they don't work at all, end up in a hotel and receive benefits. This is not fair on the British people, it is not fair on the economy, and it is certainly not fair on the country as a whole. Because the country is being destroyed, it's cracking under the pressure. So cancelling the indefinite right to remain and replacing it with something else means that the people who are here legally and who are working in, say, the NHS and other places, they wouldn't have a problem. Because if they had to redo their visa, whatever it gets replaced with, every, say, 5 or 10 years, they wouldn't have a problem doing it. It would be renewed and life would carry on as normal. Illegals, however, wouldn't be able to get one in the first place. So they wouldn't be able to work apart from in, as I mentioned earlier, places where the owners don't care if they're legal or not. So how do you tackle that? Well, at the moment, someone employing an illegal can be fined up to £10,000 per employee. Of course, they never get fined that, I don't think. So how about doing it a different way? How about if they are found on more than one occasion to be knowingly employing illegal workers, then they lose their business, seized by the state. And how about if they open another business and continue to employ illegals, then they lose their liberty. And if they are immigrants themselves, legal or otherwise, they have that status removed and they are deported. Surely this will be a better deterrent to stop them from running this grey economy. Anyway, rant over for now. Never know, this might become a regular thing. Enjoy the ride.
Sorry, 0 just on here.